Hey Valley Middle School. Tonight's lesson we're just going to work a few problems for the target 5.6a and b. This is writing the multiplicative inverse or the reciprocal of a number and then also solving problems with it. Let's just get right to it. First of all, 5.6a is writing the multiplicative inverse of each. So this is pretty straightforward, and I think we can do a few samples here and you'll get it right away. So 7/9, the multiplicative inverse, you're just going to flip the numerator and the denominator. So this becomes, sorry, it's hard to write with this little guy, 9/7. Just that simple. This one here, 5 seconds, is going to become 2/5. You can see I've got good number writing skills, right? And this one over here will simply become 9/1. Now you're probably going, what the heck? That's the easiest thing in the world. And yes, it is. Because if you think about it, it makes sense. 7, now if you were to multiply these two together, 7 times 9, that's 63. And this one here, on the bottom, 9 times 7, that's also 63. What is 63 divided by 63 equal to? Absolutely, you're correct. It's equal to 1. And the same thing would happen with any of these. Put a dot in here this time. 1 times 9 will give me 9. 9 times 1, that also equals 9. So 9 divided by 9 is 1. So the multiplicative inverse is basically the fraction flipped upside down. Because when you take and multiply 5 seconds times the opposite of that, the reciprocal, 2/5, you're going to get the same number in the numerator and the denominator, and that's going to be equal to 1. Here's one little trick down here. I bet you can figure this one out if I do this. That's right. So here's a mixed number. To write the multiplicative inverse, you take 4 times 3, which is 12, plus 1 is going to give me 13/3. Now that's not the multiplicative inverse. That's the improper fraction that represents that mixed number. So now the multiplicative inverse will be the opposite, 3/13. Okay? You multiply those two together, you'll have the same number on the numerator, 39, and the same number on the denominator, 39. All right? Let's move on. Now we have to solve some problems with this. And this gets a little more difficult, but we're going to use that reciprocal to do this. So check this one out. We have a divided by 8. So the first thing I want you to do is put a little bar here. And then we're going to say, well, the opposite of this would be 8/1. Because this is really, you can think of this as like 1a. Well, these 8s are going to cross out because we can reduce that. That's going to leave us with just plain old a on this side, and that's what we want. We want to get a by itself. But whatever you do to this side of the equal sign, you have to do to that side. So I have to multiply this side by 8/1/2. That reciprocal, remember? This was like 1/8, 8/1. So if I put my multiplication sign in here, I'm just going to make this to help me remember that that's really 5/1. I can multiply this 5 times 8. That gives me 40. And then 1 times 1 is 1. Well, 40/1 is just 40 divided by 1, which is 40, correct? So I found out that a then equals 40. All right? How do I know if my answer is right? Let's just try and see if I can make this work. Let me just grab this and stick it in up here on top of the, that's not going to work too good. There, I can put it right there. Does 40 divided by 8 equal 5? Yes, it does. So you can pop it right back into the equation and see if it works. All right, so let's try this one here. This one is 15 equals y divided by 2. So I bet you the first thing you're going to want to do, if you're anything like me, oops, I'm going to get my pen back, is to just take and get rid of that fraction on this side. We want to get y by itself. So this is, again, this is like 1y. So I'm just going to divide this by the opposite, which would be 2 over 1. So here's my 1/2, 1y, so times 2 over 1. So these guys are going to cross out. It's just going to leave me with like 1y over 1. I'm really going to just end up with y. Okay, I'm going to run through that one more time. So this is 1y over 2, or y over 2. So I'm going to multiply it by the multiplicative inverse. I'm going to flip it. And so that would be 2 over 1. Well, I'm just going to cross out the 2's, and it would leave me with 1y over 1, which is the same as y. Okay, anything over 1 is just itself. So that equals, that's a terrible equal sign, that equals 15. But I multiplied this by 2 over 1, so I have to multiply this side by 2 over 1 as well. Now keep in mind that 15 or any number is just the same as 15 over 1. So now I have 2 times 15 on this side, which is going to give me 30 over 1. Well, I'm going to get my eraser because I know that 30 over 1 is just plain old 30. So you can see that I've gotten my answer down to y equals 30, or 30 equals y. Let me erase all this junk, and let's just put that answer back in there and see if that works. So we think y is equal to 30. So let me just take and pop that in right over the top of the y. Okay, 30 divided by 2 equals 15. Yeah, it does. You probably could have figured those ones out on your own. This is a little more complicated down here because now I got some decimals involved, and I think I'm going to need to get my calculator out for this one. So let's take this one down here. T equals, or T divided by 5.4 equals 9. It looks hard, but I'm just going to follow my same steps and see how I come out. All right, so I'm going to multiply this by the opposite, which would be 5.4 over 1. And I've got to, of course, do the same thing on this side. That's terrible. My eraser here. I'm getting like the Khan Academy guy, just writing with these little pens. So I'm going to take this times 5.4. All right, and I have to make that over 1. And I remember that 9 is just 9 over 1. It just helps me when I'm thinking about multiplying fractions. So these two dudes are going to cross off. This is going to leave me t on this side. Okay, now these ones here, this is going to get a little more complicated. This is where I'm like, hey dude, I'm going to get the calculator out. So now I have to take 9 times 5.4. So here's my 9 times 5.4, and that equals 48.6. So 48.6. I'll just type that one in, and I'm going to grab all of that stuff and move that over so you can see it a little bit better. So t equals 48.6. That's what I'm thinking the answer is. But how can I check it? Let me just substitute back in. So I'm going to go up here. I'm going to take that 48.6. I'm going to put it right over the top of that. I'm going to get this junk out of the way so I can see my original problem again. So this is what I think I've got here. So let's get the calculator back and find out. So I'm going to take 48.6. I'm going to divide it by 5.4, because that's what it means. 48.6 divided by 5.4 divided by 5.4. 4. And if we're living in a perfect world, that's going to equal to 9. Get down. We got it. All right. So, all right, now you're wondering, man, that's a lot of writing. Can I simplify this at all? Well, once you kind of get into the habit of it, sometimes you just do this. I'm going to work the same problem again, a over 8. So I know that I'm going to get a by myself over here. So I'm just going to go ahead and write a equals. And then I can just do my work on this side. This is like 1 over 8. So I have to write 8 over 1. Then I'll just multiply this side by the opposite. And I can very quickly see that this is going to equal to 40. All right? Okay, you've got a lot of problems that we're going to look at in class and practices. Conceptually, I know it seems a little bit hard, but if you follow those simple steps, use the multiplicative inverse, I think you're going to be just fine. All right, thanks for watching.